join us for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Has council had an opportunity to review the meeting minutes?
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion from Mike, second from Troy. Any discussion on those? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Any additional items for this evening's agenda? None. I'll ask for a motion to approve agenda.
I make a motion we approve the agenda as is.
I'll second that.
Motion from Mike, second from Troy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Guests in open forum. Does anyone wish to utilize guests in open forum today? No? All right. We will go on to committee reports. Budget and Finance. With our Budget and Finance members gone, Connie's going to give us our update.
Okay, so the Budget and Finance Committee met on December 19th, and we had just a few items that we discussed. One was cash flow projections, and with our business expansion project, we discussed the cash flow and how important that is to keep track of our flows with grant monies coming in kind of on a tail end. So we did have that discussion, and then we kind of led into, we received the Moody's report, and we have that A1 rating, and that'll be coming to council in a report coming up in a future meeting. We also talked about revolving capital insurance amounts and our property casualty workers' comp renewals. And so more will be coming on that. There was discussion on what kind of balance we need in that revolving capital insurance account, and just, what would be ideal to have as that balance. And so we'll be discussing more on that in a future meeting also. And then we discussed the financials for November, and we are below expenditures, below budget. So overall, like I said, we're below budget.
As of the end of November.
As of the end of November, correct. And that was pretty much our meeting.
Perfect.
Any questions or? Okay.
All right. Planning Commission.
Planning Commission, we had several things. We had a public hearing for a CUP for a home occupation business. We made some recommendations, and City Council will be addressing that a little bit later on here. Prairie Village Homes development requested a house plan revision. Nothing was handicap accessible, so they made some revisions for handicap access, which we approved. We discussed the Chapter 9 and 11 of our code book, and we'll be reviewing that and then setting a public hearing and coming to council with that. And we might be doing a workshop too with council on that. And Rick had to leave, and so we ended up closing the meeting, so we didn't go any farther than that.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other meetings over the holidays? No? All right. Organizational and committee reports. Ms. Bleasy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So as we do every year, before Council is Resolution 20-01. This resolution makes annual appointments and designations for the organizational structure of the city. Council did discuss this at their last executive session, so tonight I would ask for a motion to approve Resolution 20-01.
If you don't have any objections to that, I'll make a motion we approve Resolution 2001. Committee appointments.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion from Mike, second from Troy. Any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board, committee, and consultant reports. The 2020 Street and Park Project. Mr. Knutson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, come before you trying to gear up for 2020 street construction and the parking lot at City Park. So last year, we got a little bit behind in our street projects, so we were delayed. We awarded a bid, but we did not do any of the street work on Parkview. And if you remember, we broke down Parkview. We stopped it short of going to Bradley because of the cost of the project. So what we're looking at right now is finishing off that project, which would be Parkview from Forest down to Bradley, Olivia Court, and Prairie Court, as well as Sunset Drive. And then there's a lift station that we'd like to access and pave that, replace the catch basin there as well, so it's a drive over. Tonight, what we're doing is we're looking to go out for plans and specs, getting your approval on that. That would be the main portion of the project for 2020. We'll label that as Parkview 2. The second portion would be repaving the City Park parking lot, and that would be an alternate bid. So it'll be freestanding. We can keep it as part of it. Typically, we get better bids coming in that way. So along with the City Park parking lot, what we're looking to do is change the driveway a little bit by moving it north about 10 or 12 feet. What that does, it allows for a better in and out access and allows for parking on both sides, north and south of the parking lot, to maximize the overall space allotted in the parking lot. Staff had looked at putting down some Class 5 in the south portion of the parking lot for overflow, but we thought it would be better served. That happens about 4 or 5 times a year, and we thought money would be better served to really focus on the main parking lot right now, because it gets used quite extensively, and then come back and visit that at a later date if we wanted to expand that overflow. So, again, what we've done, we did a probable cost or a cost estimate on this. It does fall within the budgets that we've got. It's actually lower than what we had anticipated or set aside for this year's cycle. We won't know where that truly comes in until we go for bid, but right now it's just the next step in getting your approval for plans and specifications with SEH.
So that'd be Resolution 2003.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on it?
I just, we have phase 1 already approved, like, I remember
And bid.
bidding it
Yes.
and approved for,
Accepted.
accepted and ordered.
Yes, and it'll be scheduled as soon as weather conditions allow for it. We put a caveat in there when we awarded the bid that if they were going to start any portion of the construction in 2019, they had to bring it to
Yeah.
major completion. And they just knew going into the streets, they couldn't get it done, so they didn't want to risk it. So we did some tree grubbing work because it's part of the 3rd Street Trail as well. And we did the water work, the stormwater retention on the golf course, the Local 9, was part of that project as well. So that dirt work, for the most part, is completed. But the street itself has not been touched, even though the bid has been awarded. And statute won't allow us, because the proposed cost of this portion is going to exceed 25% of that original cost. We can't just add it in to the bid, so we've got to seek bids again. We have heard back from some of the folks that have already bid that they're excited to get a shot at this one, as is Knife River, because they won the original bid. So we're hoping, because economy of scale, that this is in our favor, and we can also get it lined up. So we're first in the gate for Knife River to have one of their earliest projects. So we're feeling pretty good about coming in. We're hoping that we're going to get some favorable numbers coming back when we get to that point.
Anything else? I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2003, 2020 Street and Park Project.
Second that.
Motion from Mike, second from Troy, which will probably be all evening, Susan, so.
Want me to switch it?
We can switch it around if you like.
So no further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, conditional use permit for cleaning business, Ms. Flipson. Don't change it up, because then
I'm
I
gonna.
could just be like,
This one's going to be changed.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So tonight before you, the City of Becker has received an application for a home business for 13197 Ivy Street. So this home occupation would be for a cleaning business. Planning Commission held their public hearing on December 30th, and there was a discussion on a few key points. Some of the issues that were addressed, which are also translated into conditions within Resolution 2002. The first one is vehicles being parked in the street. the resolution is limiting the number of vehicles that can be parked, and they have to be off the street. There's a resolution condition limiting the commercial dumpster, so it's allowed one commercial dumpster maximum of 2 cubic yards. Then the third issue was was the storage of chemicals, and then how they have to be handled. So with CUPs, even though this business specifically doesn't use any toxic chemicals, CUPs do follow the property. So we did want to make sure that that was included to prevent any future businesses from using that. So with that, otherwise, Mike, if you have anything to add from that, otherwise staff is recommending motion and second to approve the resolution.
Yeah, no, the Planning Commission approved it with the changes that she mentioned, so we're good to go on it.
Like I said, I drove by today. I don't have a problem at all. The vehicles are all nicely lined up in the driveway. I see no problems with any of the parking issues that
Well,
I
yeah,
thought we had, but
I guess in their defense, once they realized that there was an issue, they made an effort to, things kind of snowballed evidently, and
but I even looked at the road situation. Even if you had 3 cars, they still weren't parked in front of anybody's house. So I didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I came, I went both directions. I didn't,
yeah, so it's,
so.
you know, the situation was already taken care of before it even came in for a CUP, but some people were still upset about the whole thing in general, you know.
Yeah, I was appraised after the meeting of what had taken place, so, and I have no further questions. It seems pretty straightforward. So,
I'll make a motion if there's no other questions.
yeah,
Switched it up.
Resolution 2002, a resolution granting a conditional use permit for a cleaning business.
I'll second that.
Motion from Troy, second from Mike. Any other discussion on it? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Administrator and staff reports. Northern Meadows Development Agreement. Ms. Flipson.
So we worked with our legal team, and we have completed the draft of the development agreement for Northern Metal Recycling. It is attached to your packet tonight under the budgetary information, so we have come to the agreement on the frontage road assessment, and this also includes an additional payment for that sack and whack. It was included within their DA. They've agreed to this development agreement. They actually have their signature line already signed. So tonight, it is before you for a motion and second to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute it.
Any questions for Marie?
I was, you know, didn't we do an agreement before?
We've had a draft. This is the final version ready for execution
Oh.
with legal.
Nope, then I have no other questions.
Does anyone care to make a motion?
I guess I can make a motion. I make a motion we approve the development agreement with Northern Metal.
I'll second that.
Motion from Mike, second from Troy. Any other discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, City Council, 4 items on the consent agenda for January 7th. Item number 1 is a hiring and termination report for the Becker Community Center. Item number 2 is a donation acceptance, and that's Resolution 20-04 from a company called Bilam Chi LLC, and they made a generous donation to our police department. Item number 3, declaring a vacancy on our Planning Commission and on our EDA. So if people are interested in participating in the municipal process through the Planning Commission and or EDA, we encourage them to go ahead and apply. And then item number 4 is a Stolt plat correction. So if you have any questions, I can try to answer those. Otherwise, a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So there's an open application for the Planning Commission and one for EDA, correct?
Correct, and we will begin recruiting.
I think there's one for Park and Rec also.
All right, so we have plenty of opportunity for people to get involved.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So we should include that Park and Rec one. I think at the community center, I think they were going to post it themselves, but it still should, I don't know, it wouldn't hurt to have it run through ours, through
Yeah,
this.
do we have a link on our website or anything, like on our homepage, do you know?
I
Or-
don't know if it's set up yet, but that's usually where
Okay.
we recruit.
Perfect.
Is it already set up? Okay.
All right, perfect.
So are you making
I'll
a
make a motion.
motion with the
No, I just want,
addition?
yeah,
It was just a mentionable item.
Okay.
well, yeah, okay, I'm good with it. Because I know that the, I know they're posting it, so.
Okay.
So I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion from Mike, second from Troy. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Payment of the bills.
I'll make the motion that we pay the bills.
And yeah, I'll second that, I guess.
Motion from Troy, second from Mike. Any discussion on the bills? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Anniversaries for the month of January, we have one, Jason Henderson from the golf course. He is celebrating his 3rd year with us, so congratulations. And does council have anything else for the betterment of Becker? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second that.
Motion from Mike, second from Troy to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:16.